G'day trendsetters, I'm John with Gravel Cyclist. I'm coming to you today with a very long-term review of Rotor's INpower single-sided power meter. I'll freely admit to not being a huge fan of power meters, but my good friend Laurie at Rotor USA, hi Laurie, kind of insisted that I review this product over the long term and on the gravelly roads less travelled. So I mounted it about a year ago. In fact, I'll link in the description below where I unboxed this product and I weighed it and so on and showed you what you get for your money. But a year has passed and now it's time to discuss my findings of the power meter. The one thing that's very different about Rotor's approach is that they place all the electronics inside the axle versus measuring the spider or the crank arm itself. Whilst the battery resides behind this cover, which I'll demonstrate momentarily, the actual measurement happens only on the left crank arm. The one thing about the Rotor INpower system is because it's one-sided, it basically takes your data and doubles it to give you the total power. This system is very clever. It's modular design, so that means you can basically take the heart of the system and install it onto other Rotor power meters. In fact, this crankset I don't think is even manufactured. It's the 3D Plus. And in my case, I've got an English thread bottom bracket by Rotor in this bike. So because this system is single-sided, measuring the left crank arm only, that means you've got plenty of room for a battery and such. So I'll show the battery how that works. 8mm Allen key to remove the cover. You don't want to go super tight, you just want to snug it down so the battery makes contact. There's the cover, hopefully that's in focus. And look at that, there's the battery. A plain old AA. Rotor says you can expect about 300 hours of service life from one of these batteries. Now that might be with a higher quality battery. This is kind of an El Cheapo battery, but I've had some pretty good battery life. I'd estimate about 250 hours at least. So you might want to spend more cash on some better batteries, or you could even use lithium ion rechargeables. This review is not going to cover the installation process. Basically, you install your bottom bracket, you install the crank, insert a battery, and away you go. So in terms of the battery, again, if you had to reset the system, you'll put the battery in reverse polarity like that, close the cap down, resets the system, etc. in case you had any problems. I've not had that issue. So I want to get the battery back in there again. And there's the contact, you can see, and it's very well sealed. I've had no issues with water immersion, etc. This Rotor INpower meter has done a stellar job of measuring my limited power. It has proven to me that you definitely burn more watts on gravelly roads, which I figured out a long time ago anyway. So whilst you might be riding slower, you are putting in more of an effort. This is where the device is useful because it prevents you from cooking yourself too soon. It has proven very reliable over a magnitude of road surfaces. The battery life is excellent and it's very easy to replace, as I showed earlier. The Garmin warns of low battery life, so it isn't like you're going to be stuck losing data. It's your own fault really if you let the battery expire. Because the Rotor INpower system is a single-sided system, the data can be misleading on some of the Garmin screens, as in measuring of both legs is divided, as on this screen I'm showing right now, whereas in reality it is just the left leg being measured. But once you understand these shortcomings, it isn't a problem. Gravel cycling is mostly about chugging along, riding a tempo, and this system is perfect for that. If you're interested in measuring a sprint workout, I could see where a dual-sided system would be much more useful. For me, this review is about how this device has stood up to the test of time during a year of gravel cycling. I rode this bike with this power meter during my failed attempt at the 2019 Dirty Kansas 200 and a ton of training rides beyond that. I can certainly see the benefit of riding such a device. You can ride to a number and measure your workout pretty effectively. There is no slacking off because the device never lies. It always reports a number and you're accountable to that number as much as you want to be. I ride by feel, and whilst I do measure my heart rate data, I know myself well enough that I haven't ever had to rely on heart rate or power meters, but I understand that heart rate data correlates to power meter data within 1 or 2%. That point aside, this Rotor INpower Power Meter has done a stellar job of measuring my limited power. So that wraps up this review. I realise there's a ton of power meter options available today, so I hope that my review went some way to helping you making an informed purchase decision. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the Gravel Cyclist YouTube channel, and don't forget to click the bell button to be notified of future videos as they appear on the channel. I'll see you in the next video.